Today we are celebrating Valentine's Day, but one common issue that may drive some conflict in any relationship is finances. Well, lucky for us, Colin Evans from Evans Financial Group is giving us a scoop on how couples can win together in their finances. Well, Colin, let's jump right to it and break down how important communication is for a couple's finances and other tips that you may have for those trying to be together and deal with finances. That's a hot topic.
It is. It's gigantic, and of course today is that special day for a lot of people.
Love day.
It is, and let me preface this with, I'm not giving relationship advice. We're just here on the financial side. So.
But relationship advice on finances, right, Colin?
Yes.
Okay.
And let's kick off. We came up with 4 kind of key points that we found over the years of what successful kind of couples have really narrowed down. They really do well, and one of that first ones is the scary word, is that communication. And that communication about finances. This is kind of, getting together, putting these like financial dates. This is, we have all heard, you need to have a date night, but there should also be a time reserved for actually a financial date night. And that's, let's revisit like our goals. Let's revisit some of the things that we're planning. And if we have to look at this stuff, are our goals in line? And are we prepared to make any shifts or any changes that might be coming up or that we're looking for down the road?
You know what I read recently, Colin, is that the younger generations are now going into relationships and not sharing any type of connection with the finances. And checking accounts, all that stuff, even when they get married.
And I've seen it quite a bit too. We have. It's, especially too when we see what we call blended families, which, have past marriages and things like that. And it's not uncommon to see. It's like, he's got his pile of money and she's got her pile of money. And, and then speaking of that too, that actually kind of puts us right into one of the next points is, this joining, the financial planning and the financial goal setting. When we do this and we move into these joint accounts and separate accounts. And that, the joint account thing can come into play when we start looking at, the couple's kind of responsibilities that they might deem together. That could be rent, it could be a mortgage, the utilities, the groceries, the things they feel like they can,
Sure.
put together communally, and then are putting these funds together, and then they keep separate accounts for some of the things they might want to be doing on their own, and that also kind of really helps keep their own individuality. As it's like, okay, I have to spend extra money on fishing gear or hunting gear, and I don't want to get in trouble for that. Guns. I like the gun part. That is a big one for me. But that putting that stuff together, and it all decks backwards into that number one topic of that communication. But being able to discuss these things, we can look at it. We walk into one of the last topics of that strategic debt management and that savings side, and it's really that mindset of, okay, as a couple, are we prepared to say, do we have Christmas, debt that we need to go ahead and erase? Let's go ahead and knock out any high interest credit cards. That's typically what comes in when we look at high interest stuff. And as we're putting that back into play, it's like, hey, are we still keeping up with those savings accounts, that emergency fund that we've talked about before? And what future things are we looking at, and do we need to both as a couple prepare for? Is it possibly a new home purchase? Are we planning for a vacation? Are we, is there a new car coming down the line? And it's planning on that. But those strategic times that you actually get together, put it down, putting that budget down that the couples can work together. And it's not being said that everything is set in stone.
Right.
It's not. It's
we
both have to be flexible. Both parties have to be flexible, but we also have to be flexible because we know that things are going to come up and things are going to arise that might catch us off guard.
And many times people just have different ways of dealing with their finances, right? So you have 2 different people who come into a relationship, and how they grew up is maybe not the same way that you grew up, and they treat finances different, because we see it's like I think number 3 top reason of people that get divorced over finances.
It is.
So we know it's a topic that obviously needs to be discussed. Communication is key.
It is, and one of the things, what's funny is you can see different mindsets of and the folks that we visit with, and the drivers are the ones that really kind of narrow down and are really dive into it. And you might have a partner that says, well, they might see something on the news or a commercial for $99 a month, and they think of a mindset of, well, well, it's going to cost X amount per month, as opposed to, hey, what's this cost us total? What's maybe the interest rate going to be involved in this, whatever purchases that we're buying, or how long are we locked into a $99 a month type charge or type fee? And so that can sometimes cause a little bit of a battle in between the couple. So this this communication on that front end can, put those fires out and put those flames out.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Can get crazy. Well, thank you, Colin, for being here today and for talking to us how to deal with our finances with a couple a little bit easier, and tips on how we can stay focused on that together.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
I'll see you next week.